Hey, what is up, mortals? It is TheLuckyDerp here, and welcome to the first part of What If Orochimaru Never Attacked the Leaf Village. This part is being re-recorded to keep the audio more in line with the rest of the series. Just want to greet you guys by saying sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. And so we begin. The sand crunched under Orochimaru's feet as he approached the fourth Kazekage. They designated his remote spot in the desert for a meeting to discuss the attack on the Hidden Leaf. Orochimaru, you're late. I hope your preparations are complete for your sake. Orochimaru smirked and tilted his head, trying to draw attention away from the sword he concealed attached to his back. Of course, Rasa. I know better than to disappoint a Kage. He looked up to see about 5 Jonin watching them from the elevated rock formation behind the Kazekage. I hope you can trust your backup. Good help is so hard to find lately. As he reached behind his back, he froze as he felt his arm being restrained, spinning around. He was met with an eye floating in the air, peering at the sword. Gold dust was spouting from the ground and wrapping around his wrist. Rasa raised his hand outstretched at Orochimaru as the golden sand began to surround him. It seems as the only person I cannot trust is you, Orochimaru. I knew I shouldn't be too careless, considering your reputation. Orochimaru spun his wrist, cutting the sand away from his hand, then slicing the rest of it away from his body. Very clever, Rasa. But what will you do now? Your shinobi are starved of missions, and you need me to destroy the leaf in order to solve that. I suppose you could fight me here and now and collect the bounty. That would help your pathetic village for a while, Orochimaru said, licking his lips. He knew that the Kazekage stood no chance against him, especially now that he learned Edo Tensei and could bring the past Hokage in the fight. No, Rasa replied. You're wrong. I can sell the information I already know about you to the leaf, about the Sound Village, and the locations of your hideouts, and even your plan to kill the Hokage. Of course, I will act as if this was a sting operation by the Sand all along, and as for the lack of work, the Sand has had an opportunity to show the world how powerful our shinobi really are. Now crawl back in your hole, Orochimaru. I have a village to run. Rasa disappeared into the wind, followed by his bodyguards as Orochimaru shouted in anger. Rasa didn't know much about Orochimaru's organization, but he's still privy to many secrets that Orochimaru shared with him, believing that it didn't matter because he would be dead soon. Lucky for Orochimaru, Rasa only knew the location of the nearest hideout and a rough estimate of Orochimaru's manpower, based on their plan to attack the leaf. He still did not know that the Hidden Sound Village was secretly a series of laboratories and barracks in which Orochimaru was the leader and organizer. All of Orochimaru's allies in the nearest hideouts were need to abandon it to crowd the hideouts of the northeast. As he began to make the shameful journey to warn his allies, Orochimaru began planning a long-term attempt to claim his secrecy back. The Sound Ninja and Kabuto team never entered the Chunin exams, and Orochimaru never entered the Forest of Death, all because Orochimaru failed to execute his assassination attempt, and therefore abandoned his plan to attack the leaf. This left Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura finishing the Forest of Death much quicker, because they never fought Orochimaru. Sasuke didn't receive a curse mark, and Orochimaru didn't seal Naruto. Also, because 2 teams were different, the random place that each team entered was different too, making some groups luckier than others. This also led to the matchups in the preliminary being much different. Let's go, Hinata! You got this, you know? Naruto cheered, almost jumping over the railing in excitement. You can do it, Ino! Sakura cheered as Inner Sakura shouted, Sha, Hinata, you can beat this pig! Just as Hinata began to blush, she ducked under a wild haymaker by Ino to deliver a gentle fist strike to her stomach. The fight began with Hinata anticipating the mind transfer jutsu by staying back and preparing to dodge if Ino attempts to send her consciousness into her. Ino knew that the time in which her body would be limp would be more than enough for a Hyuga to cause fight-ending damage. Hinata may even be able to see her consciousness coming with her Byakugan. For this reason, the fight devolved into pure taijutsu. The third attack by Hinata's gentle fist was too much, toppling Ino and winning the match. Kurane-sensei returned to the preliminary room, just in time to join the cheering for her student, as Hinata walked with her back to the stands with the rest of the Leaf Village. How is Shino? Did they neutralize the poison yet? Not yet. He'll be fine eventually. Whatever poison that Rain-Genin used is quite powerful. Lucky for Shino, his opponent passed out from lack of chakra first, so they are declaring it a win for Shino instead of a draw. In the fight, Shino's beetle had secretly attached himself to the Rain Ninja, slowly stealing his chakra. Unfortunately, while Shino attempted to stall the match to give his insect time to feast, He was cut by a stray needle with some poison unknown to the Leaf's medical ninja. After hearing Kurane say this, Naruto glared at the other two genin from the Hidden Rain. So far, Neji defeated Choji, Shino defeated Baiyu of the Rain, Leaf defeated Tamari of the Sand, and Hinata defeated Ino. That left 2 men from the Sand, Naruto's team, 2 genin from the village hidden in the rain, Kiba, Tenten, and Shikamaru. His odds of fighting one of the Sand or the Rain jerks were very high at this point. And with that, the screen began to select 2 names from the remaining genin randomly. The tension was thick in the air, with so many powerful shinobi left. Everybody in the room watched the screen as it ran through the names of what seemed like forever. Finally, the screen settled with a loud ping. Sakura Haruno versus Sasuke Uchiha. A silence fell over the Leaf Shinobi. Even the Sand and Rain genin seemed taken aback. Without a word, Sasuke hopped over the railing and walked to the position to fight. Sakura held her fist by her chest and refused to move. She looked up at Kakashi, who spoke before Sakura was able to formulate a thought. You first need to learn how to do what you must, despite your emotions. You're a shinobi first. This took Sakura aback for a minute. Even if she wanted to fight, she knew she would get destroyed. What if I can't? She said bluntly. Kakashi turned to her, eyes closed and smiling, big enough to see through his mask. Then you can feel free to quit being a shinobi. Sakura looked at the rest of the genin, but they all averted their gaze and looked down. They knew how hard it was going to be for her. She walked purposely slow down the stairs and over to the exam proctor. Let the 5th match begin. Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. Begin, he said, lowering his hand. Sasuke aggressively ran at Sakura with a kick to the head. Sakura blocked it with her arm, but the force still almost made her lose her balance. She jumped backwards, hoping to put some distance between the two of them, but Sasuke followed, activating his Sharingan. Sakura half-heartedly tried to throw a punch, but Sasuke easily caught her hand and flipped her over himself, slamming her onto the concrete. She rolled away from him. To her surprise, he didn't follow. She thought for a moment that he was giving her a chance to give up, until she saw him begin making hand seals. She closed her eyes and swallowed hard before whispering to herself, I'm a shinobi first. Sasuke shot a fireball at Sakura, and she jumped out of the way onto the wall, where she sternly took her headband off at the top of her head and tied it around her forehead. Sasuke followed, joining her on the wall and deactivating Sharingan before trading blows with her again. Hey, what's with the big idea on that fireball? Are you crazy, Sasuke? Naruto screamed. At least she's taking this seriously now, Kakashi said. Huh? What do you mean? Sasuke is talented in most areas, but Sakura has 2 advantages over him. 1, she knows about the ninja fundamentals, which may not come up in a 1-to-1 fight, but with someone familiar with her skill set. 2, her chakra control is better. Therefore, if they fight using only chakra control to keep themselves on the wall, Sasuke will use up more chakra than Sakura, as well as more of his focus. He seemed to notice this, which is why he deactivated his Sharingan to save chakra. Right as Kakashi finished his sentence, Sakura took advantage of Sasuke's split attention by counter-punching him hard in the jaw, causing him to take a few steps backwards. Nearly every jaw in the room dropped. Sasuke growled and activated his Sharingan before going again. Sakura was no match for his movements and predictions with the Sharingan, but she fought hard before seeing him disappear for a split second. He reappeared below her and kicked her upwards, which was actually sideways. Naruto recognized this from the move that Rock Lee used against Sasuke at the beginning of the exams. Sakura hit the ground hard and fell into a heap. The winner is Sasuke Uchiha, the proctor proclaimed. As Sakura collected her thoughts, she heard, although muffled, the proctor shouting and everyone cheering in the room. She thought it strange that he would ever congratulate Sasuke. Her head poked up to see all of the Leaf Ninja cheering while looking at her. You did awesome, Sakura! Naruto yelled. You did better than I would have, Choji said. Sakura walked up to join the others with her head held high. And with that, the screen began cycling through the names again. Only 8 genin remain, 2 Sand, 2 Leaf, and full Rain. Gaara versus Madare. Madare's teammate standing next to him looked over at the 3 Rain genin. Go show them what we can do. Yeah, I'll go do that, Madare said. He looked over at Gaara, who was already on the battlefield, smiling ominously. Man, and I thought I felt bad for Sakura, Shikamaru said as he watched the Rain genin shuffle down to the starting position. The proctor coughed into his hand. The 6th fight. Wait, do neither of you have last names? Neither of them replied, so he continued. Gaara of the Sand versus Madare of the Rain. Begin! Wait! Madare shouted. I give up. Everyone muttered to each other in surprise. You what? Shigiri yelled from the stands. I'm sorry, I think I saw him kill someone in the forest. He's crazy, I'm not gonna die just for this. Gaara scowled and disappeared in the sand, reappearing back next to his brother and sister. The proctor pinched the bridge of his nose. Okay, so I suppose the winner is Gaara of the Sand. The screen immediately began running through the leftover names. Now only 6. Naruto, Kiba, Shikamaru, Tenten, and Kankuro, and Shigure. Naruto looked up at Kankuro, who smiled back at him devilishly, and then over to Shigure, who crossed his arms. And then the screen stopped. Shigure versus Tenten. Shigure made his way down with a mixture of calmness and anger, while Tenten shouted, "All right!" and hopped over the railing. They both found their way to the starting position and gave each other a slight bow in respect. Naruto looked at the remaining potential opponents, Kiba, Shikamaru, and Kankuro, before turning his attention to the proctor. Let the 7th fight, Tenten versus Shigure, begin! Thank you all for indulging yourselves in the story thus far. Hope you enjoyed it. Now there are a few more things I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, we've got a primary channel called We the Celestials. We the Celestials is what we do here already, but their content centered around the crazy world and lore of My Hero Academia. So please check us out over there if you're feeling in the mood for a roller coaster of quirky content. We also have another relative to our channel, Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes deep into the facts and lore of a wide variety of anime. It's sure to expand your weeb knowledge of all kinds of series guaranteed. I'd like to let you all know on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. If you're perhaps interested in what we do here at WTC, then I would like to extend an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being we only accept members 16 and older to join our crew. You can find us on Discord, which you can locate in the description below. Our Discord is all around fantastic place to be, whether you're a fan or looking to join our band of misfits. All you gotta do is hit up the recruitment server and sign up for whatever category of work that fulfills your interest. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching and have a great day.